Good afternoon. This is our behind the scenes podcast. We're just doing a little bit of technical T&C. What does that stand for?
Wasn't it like
T's and C's?
Wasn't it tummy and chest? What was that T&C advert?
Yeah. I'm not. Oh yeah.
From
TCP.
From that skank from Coronation Street. It wasn't TCP. She wasn't like, "Ooh, put on some of this antiseptic cream."
I'm not sure. Coronation Street, they probably need it.
Right.
Anyway, this is a behind the scenes chat. We're just sorting out our format, taking on a little bit of feedback from some of our listeners from episode 1 and 2, and just all round tidying up a little bit.
Yeah, we wanted you to see how we were applying your feedback to our future podcasts, and maybe let you have a bit of an idea about how we'll organise our podcasts in future. And you might notice that there's something different this time around. Shaun and I are actually miles away from each other.
Indeed. Although not that many miles.
Just
maybe just 29.
But still technically miles. It's about 50. 29 miles.
Okay. I don't do maths.
It's not even maths. Anyway.
I don't do distance.
So I'm speaking from Dunfermline. Shaun is speaking from his flat in Dundee. And we are going to mould the audio together, and hopefully it sounds okay when it comes out the other end. Unfortunately, this means we can't play on each other in the same way that we usually would. Shaun usually cups my thigh for comfort whilst we're doing this. So this time around, I've just got like a soft toy. Just a soft toy of a hand, a rubber hand pressed against my thigh, just to allow me to get through this process. I've also got a little window with Shaun's face on Skype on my laptop, with his shit-eating grin poking out from next to the X button.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so,
although you not being here does let me be nude, which is nice.
Well, that's true.
It's been a warm day.
So how is this behind-the-scenes podcast going to progress, Shaun?
So we're going to discuss a little bit about how our format is going to run for each and every podcast that we'll be releasing. And then we're going to have a little discussion about whether or not we need jingles, because James loves jingles, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, my inspirations from podcasts all come from podcasts where they include some sort of segueing jingle of various quality. So it might be as good as, you know, it's the sports section of the broadcast, or it might be like Steve Wright in the afternoon, real radio.
If we can get Steve Wright, we can definitely get that old woman to part with some of her money.
I mean, that old woman's not parting with a cent. If she's not giving us money from those two cracking podcasts, episode 1 and 2, she's giving us nothing for 3.
Yep.
Anyway, or our podcast could be something along the lines of the famous one from the Ricky Gervais show. What's that podcast jingle?
Oh, chimpanzee that!
It's monkey news! always inspirational. Never do anything that Ricky Gervais does is the general rule, I think.
Yeah. But, although James would like to eat a knob at night, but that's just his personal preference.
Now we're just stealing other people's content outright.
We are.
Okay,
yes.
so this behind the scenes podcast, we're going to discuss the organisation of the show. We're going to discuss some of the feedback we got, and we're going to decide upon possible jingles for the shows going forward. Now, just to warn you, before I let Shaun have a word in here, the jingles aren't going to be with instruments. They're not going to be highly processed. They're going to be one or the other, or both of us, saying something.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to be dire.
Yeah. And now it's James's turn.
I'm sampling that. Anything in the past 3 weeks of recording is fair game. So if you have any opinions of what could be a jingle going forward from any of our shows at this point, or from this recording itself, please let us know. We want an excellent jingle. We want something along the lines of, like, if anyone could cut anything together with Shaun saying, "I am a twat," before he starts speaking, then that would be fantastic.
You've given your one perfectly, so.
Yes.
Yes, that's my new ringtone.
Okay.
Excellent. So we're going to have a little discussion first about the format, because that was one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we got from multiple people. All the feedback has been absolutely fantastic, so a massive thank you from me and James to anyone who has given us some
genuinely
feedback.
thanks for that.
Yeah, it's been brilliant reading the comments and stuff. Magic. So the one thing that we were getting picked up on was for suggesting that there is a format, but then following it much too loosely, or sometimes not at all.
Oh, I mean, it was just an outright lie.
Yeah. So like we discussed in episode 2, what we like to do and what we think worked quite well was talking about some local news stories and just interesting things that happens from the areas which we're from. So I believe what we decided to do is, in each podcast, we will each share two stories from our respective towns from growing up.
Right, and any updates to the stories we heard in previous weeks as well.
Absolutely. If that gentleman has drank a second can of juice, we'll be informing you right away.
The guy with the Public Enemy #1 shirt went into court the other day with "I am a criminal" tattooed on his arm.
Still went free. Anyway, yes, so like you said there, we're hoping to do the 2 pieces of news info segments each, and I think that we should be taking turns on this. So an idea that James had,
notice how he says "I think" and then lead an idea that James had.
well yes, this is all James's idea. I'm but a pawn.
Is this the segment where we steal each other's ideas, Sean? Why don't we talk about some of the feedback I received? Here's a bit of feedback from Tim from Cowdenbeath, who says, "I love the podcast. I love everything about the podcast, except Sean." That was it. That's all we needed to say. Thanks Cowdenbeath, for your contribution. We'll take it on board. Sean?
Cheers, Tim. Feel free to day one, dick. So Tim's going to become our hated listener. He's going to be the guy that gives us shit feedback and really irritates me.
I hope we hear more from Tim from Cowdenbeath, to be honest.
I do actually too, yes. So yes, what we're going to do, the podcast will be alternatively led by one of us. So in 1 week, I'll lead, I'll do the introduction, have a little chat, and I'll have the first story to tell. And then the next week it'll be James's turn, and he will lead, and it'll be invariably much worse than mine. So whichever one of us leads will share the first story from their respective hometowns. Then it'll go to the other person, back to the original person, and then back to the other person.
Right, and then back to the original person, and then back to the other person. I'm not getting this, Sean. It's complicated. So what? This sounds weird in my head. Can't we just ramble incoherently for an hour?
We've tried that. We've got the feedback.
We got 100 views in 3 weeks.
That is good. I like that. Thank you to everyone who watched / listened.
Yeah, that was good. Okay, so I like it. I like the organisation. Given that it was my idea. You've just got a big dour face on.
You asked me to do the introduction.
It was a good introduction. Right, so it was a good idea. It was my idea. Sean described it very well, however, right? What we've got here is an organisation that matches a lot of what feedback we got. And so this week I'm gonna start this off, because I've been looking at some news articles, and I have a kind of opener for the main podcast. This is still the special behind the scenes podcast. That's why we're rambling a bit more than we will in the actual thing. But I've got a special opener, and I've got some excellent news, and I've actually got some updates on a previous news section.
Ooh, that is intriguing.
I also have a surprise section to see how Sean deals with it.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It'll be slightly less of a surprise now.
Oh no, it'll probably still take you off guard.
Okay, it'll have to be very surprising then.
Yeah, well,
look forward to it.
I mean, just don't mention it in the actual podcast. Just pretend this never happened. We'll release this after the main one, so they won't know it was.
That doesn't work.
They don't know. We're not broadcasting this live.
They don't know time.
Those peasants don't know what's good for them. They won't have any idea. Those bloody listeners. We're just hoping that old woman's listening to give us money. That's it. And Tim from Cowdenbeath.
Yeah. Fucking Tim. Right.
Tim's going to be coming up here with like striking, really hard-hitting criticism. It'll be journalism. I bet he works for the Courier.
Yes, the Courier, the pinnacle of all journalism.
Aye, better than the Rocher Times.
Is the Rocher Journal?
The Rocher.
It even has journal in it.
Is it just some guy called Ross?
For journalism.
He just keeps a journal. Today in my house.
He just reads it out in the town square.
He asks passers-by to tell him things.
Yeah.
Hello, my name's Ross. Can you tell me some news, please?
You know what? This is actually that's actually quite close to what we're doing.
Why don't we make that your section then? Sean's journal. Just go out and ask people in the street.
Because I'm from Dundee and I might get knifed.
Just open up your window and shout to the kids that hang about causing trouble outside your window. Just be like, kids, what's the news? And then you can come back here and you can lean into your mic and with your husky, delicious voice you can say, the news today is, fuck off, mister.
Yeah.
Right, anyway.
Most likely. So yeah, we've discussed a little bit about how the podcasts are going to run. Another point was that sometimes they went on for a bit longer, or we segued a little bit too much. So we'll still be having a little bit of chats about our personal experiences based off of the news stories that we find. But we won't be going and rambling on too much. A little bit like I'm doing now.
Oh no! I disagree with this.
Oh,
and our feedback givers, it's a bit of a mixed point of feedback. I wanted to bring this up.
Okay.
So we had some feedback givers. Tim from Cowdenbeath.
Is Tim real, by the way?
Yeah, Tim from Cowdenbeath. Genuinely.
Yeah. Just so really. Really?
He was like, you've called him a dick.
I just thought you pulled him out of the air. I'm so sorry.
No, Tim's gonna cause Sean some trouble now. No, Tim from Cowdenbeath. I'm using first names only. But we've got Tim from Cowdenbeath's feed. He didn't actually say everything's wrong except Sean.
Right.
He added that he quite liked rambling podcasts.
Okay.
Because there seems to be a split between the sort of podcasts where they have really set up weekly structures where they don't deviate from. They'll have different news sections or entertainment sections, whatever. And then there's some podcasts where they just sort of start talking and they might go way over time. They might miss a section out entirely, whatever, because they're chatting so much. So some people, Tim liked that. He said it could have used some more organisation. Every comment said we could have used more organisation. But he liked that it was mainly personal stories. And Marina from Athens said, yeah, okay, the personal stories is what she wanted. What she actually said, let me just have a look for this. She said, less local news, more personal stories, please. She liked that we organised it to bring up the news articles, but she wanted it just to be passing points. So we bring up the news articles as prompts, and then our personal stories are what really makes this work. Because, of course, you're an incredibly funny man. The chalk story, I still dream about the chalk story. I can't believe. Anyway, but there's other people that thought, okay, a bit more structure. So a bit of feedback from. I've neglected to write down the name.
Smart.
Yeah, this is agony. Was it? Oh, it was Oda from Norway.
Okay.
From Trondheim. So she says, okay, so it's quite long and a bit unorganised, so you guys might want to structure it a little bit more. Like this episode was local news, and it was, but perhaps introduce new topics more clearly. Make it easier for the listener to follow the conversation and its topic. So
excellent.
Those are kind of exemplars of the two types of feedback we got. So I think we're going to do something in between and please nobody.
Please ourselves.
Yeah, just do it our way. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marina and Oda. Give us some more feedback, huh? No, that's very cool. As we said before, we really appreciate it. Okay, so definitely. We're going to do something in between. Sean's mentioned the structure we're going to follow for these podcasts, and we'll mention it again at the start of the proper podcast for tonight as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. just because, in weeks to come we won't mention it because people will be used to it, but we'll mention it at the start. The setup's going to be, this week I bring up the first news article, and then we'll do the same thing. So Shaun will have the next news article, we'll take turnabout, and we'll just use it as prompts in order to ask relevant questions about it and just kind of give each other excuses to take the piss and ramble into the main theme of this podcast, which is just perspectives on the world from people from Dunfermline and Allness. I think we discussed trying to make the podcast roughly between half an hour and 45 minutes instead of making it longer than that.
Yeah.
That work for you?
Absolutely. I think it's a good length to shoot for, so yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, not that Shaun knows a lot about length, but we can
I don't even have a comeback. I'm just tired. It's Sunday, man.
Yeah, we do this instead of church. This is kind of like our confession.
Yeah.
Oh, could have a confession section. See, we've got a lot to play about with here.
That's a bad idea.
Oh, aye. What have you been up to?
My mum's already listened to one of these and loved it, by the way.
Did she?
But yeah, she was listening to one when she was chilling outside, and another one when she was hoovering. So yeah, she liked it. She liked it.
So, okay, yeah, that's really good. Which one of us does she like best?
You.
Yes. Anyway,
I'm joking.
No,
she loves me.
Okay. Yeah, so about half an hour to 45 minutes long, depending on how long we ramble. Some news points that we'll make very clear, and we'll take it turns about, and then a surprise section.
I am intrigued by the surprise section.
Yeah. Well, if the surprise section works out, maybe we can make it the surprise section a thing.
The regular surprise section.
Yeah, the regular. And now it's time for the surprise section. That noise is going to be the jingle for the surprise section. That sharp intake of breath.
Well, you going boo and then the sharp intake of breath.
Right, Shaun, this is the fake podcast, and it's already running to 20 minutes, so we've got to keep things tight. Tight as a tiger.
No, well, we followed our format. We've discussed the format of the news.
Right.
We've discussed the length of the show,
right.
And now we're discussing the jingles, which is exactly what we set out to do at the start.
Now it's time for the jingles.
Yeah.
Right.
So sharp intakes of breath.
Right.
Done.
It's good. Yeah, we've done the jingle for the jingle section.
Yeah. In fact, we could record the jingle right now. You go boo, I'll do the breath, and that's it.
Right, let's make it happen, okay? Ready?
Yes.
Right, I'm just going to make a noise so I can find this in the audio recording, right? Ready? Boo!
So that was actually painful.
That's it. I'm going to add the painful bit as well. So hang on, I think I can actually play this back to hear what it's going to sound like to anyone.
You can't play while recording.
Oh yeah, that's an issue.
Don't even joke around with that.
I know, we don't want to go to advanced Audacity usage.
Yeah.
I
can't believe you'd have the audacity to try that.
Brutal. Software jokes. We're not there yet, Shaun.
Here comes the bus. The joke bus.
It's your sex life on wheels.
Oh,
right,
dear.
So other jingles, right? So this surprise section's done. I thought for your news segments, we could just have me going, and now it's time for Shaun's news segment.
Well, as long as you're bringing lube to that rape fest, Jesus Christ!
Right, well, what do you suggest then?
If I can just imagine myself dozing off listening to the podcast, hearing that and thinking, right, this is it. My home has been broken into. I'm about to... Yeah, Jesus.
That's not my earphone, that's somebody leaning down next to me, smelling of deep cologne.
Well, why not make it relevant? You know, for my one in the Highlands, it could be the sound of sheep and then the intro, and for yours it could be the sound of incest, because it's Fife.
What's the sound of incense? Incest, even.
I don't even want to know. I was going to try something, but nah.
Stop it, Mum, I don't like that.
Oh. Welcome to Fife.
Can we delete that?
The incestual kingdom.
Can we delete that?
Nah, that's in.
I think that should be the jingle for your news segments now.
Why mine?
Because we're discussing yours. It's your fault that I said that during your segment.
Oh dear.
So what do you think? Stop it, Mum, I don't like that. It's going to be your...
No, it's not going to be mine, because that's not relevant to mine. Mine would be like a sheep or something.
What? Right? Do a sheep noise. I'll make 3 knocks, and then you do a sheep noise. Your best.
You don't need to do the knocks.
No, we do, because then we can find it.
Well, we're going to listen to this back.
I'm not going to listen to 20 minutes just to find the sheep noise.
Write down the time code instead of banging away to some poor bugger that's going to have to listen to this.
I mean, that's probably fair.
Yep.
Right, well, at 21:30, make your sheep noise.
Don't say it! You can't say it, because you're going to have to listen back to try and find when you said the time code. Write it down! Oh my god! Oh, that's like going, I'm about to say the time that it's going to record at. Oh, listen back to find that in the recording. Jesus.
It's a never-ending cycle. I'll be caught in the loop.
You will. Oh, that was painful. It's painfully funny. Oh.
See, almost everything you say is a soundbite. Right, so hang on, let me just take a note of where we are. Oh, I've not got a pencil. I've got a pen. I'm that modern. Right. Okay, Shaun, I want to hear your sheep noise now. Give me another one. Is that the most Highlandy sheep you can do?
That was quite good.
It wasn't a Highland sheep, though.
Laddie.
That was...
How's that?
What was that?
That was a Highland sheep.
That was... Okay, one more.
A haggis.
We've got it.
Okay. A sheep surprised by a haggis.
Oh, I hope I didn't
running
laugh
through
too
the
soon on that. I
fields.
hope there's enough to cut it. That's
Nah, you're
perfect. Right, that's going to be the trial of your news jingle.
Excellent.
So-
And what about yours?
So just before we get onto that, right, we'll have a fade out. So we'll finish our segment. You know, we'll just fade it out once we start rambling less funnily than we did before.
Yes.
And we'll fade in and just go, ba a haggis. And then it'll be your news segment.
Bro.
Aye. Very bro.
Mm-hmm. Right, so what's your jingle going to be?
Well, we can't do incest. I don't want that.
Well, we can't. We're not related.
But if only we could.
No, thank you.
Okay, so...
What about the sound of a car? Because they have cars there.
I like what you're thinking. So we've hit the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
I don't... What is Dunfermline? If there was a noise of Dunfermline...
Well, it could be a noise of Fife, because I've gone for a noise of
Oh, that's true.
the,
Yeah, okay. So
the Highlands.
a noise of Fife would have to be a Ned. Can you explain a Ned?
Well, it's a abbreviation
Yeah.
of non-educated delinquent that wear Burberry and get pregnant at 12 years old and going, Jeremy Kyle, he doesn't love me. So, that's a Ned.
He doesn't love me is the sweetest thing to have ever been on Jeremy Kyle. He just fell out of love. He didn't hit me. He didn't screw my sister. He just doesn't love me anymore. and I'm really broken up about it, Jeremy. Can we have a civilised discussion about my romantic pain? That's what Jeremy Kyle's all about, Sean. It's not.
Aye.
I
Then he
shagged your
walks out.
sister rotten, and then your mum spotted me, and she wants to do a pregnancy test because I screwed her with my eyes.
That doesn't happen, does it?
It doesn't, Fife.
You can get pregnant from eyeing someone up.
Well, what is it? The Flight of the Conchords song.
Ooh,
My rhymes
don't
are so
know.
potent that it got all the ladies in the front row pregnant.
That is rhyming.
I may have misremembered that
Perchance.
because I'm not a rapper. Right. Okay.
Right, so we're approaching 25 minutes, so we need to be
Yeah, let's do it. Right, Fife jingle.
Fife jingle. What do you have in Fife?
We've got the fourth road bridge and the fourth rail bridge and the new bridge. Got bridges.
Alright, bridges. What sound do bridges make?
We're closed because it rained.
That's like totally your opinion, man. That's the sound Jeff Bridges makes.
We've got fishing communities. We've got St
Okay.
Andrews. We've got Cooper.
Don't name it all.
I mean, they don't have sounds. What's a
You know what? Your thing could be just reaching for something interesting about Fife. We've got fishing communities and we've got bridges. That could be it. Just the reaching. Trying to desperately find something interesting about Fife.
So what, a noise like kind of yeah.
Bridges. Yeah.
Right.
We'll go for that for the first one and then we can build on it.
Right, so time code is 27. Right, okay. Ready?
Yes.
Bridges.
Done. Sorry.
I mean, you just took sheep. Sheep is not Highland. Sheep is everywhere.
Sheep is everywhere.
You can you could be from New
Sheep.
Zealand.
Is life.
You could be from Aberdeen. You could be from New Zealand. You could be from Wales.
Yeah, mine was quite funny.
Oh, my desperate reaching was quite funny.
It was. It was funnier when you were doing it, though. I think we need to use that portion.
Right. Oh, that's true. We do have that.
Sweet.
Well, before we end this, I think I want to say thanks for some of the nicer comments we got. Other than that, like rigorously damning criticism from Tim and Cowden Beath, we got almost overwhelmingly positive feedback about us, about the way we communicate with each other, which was a really nice thing to hear. So, so some of those comments we got. That we make a great duet, complimenting each other and bouncing off of each other's ideas. I mean, I can't remember a single instance where I've complimented you, but whatever.
You're quite easy to bounce off.
Due to all the pot noodles. Somebody said we got a real sense of Shaun because his voice is so clear. They liked the funny wedding stories. They liked the toilet stories. I can't understand why. They loved your Sean's chalk theft and Christina's funeral. What else did we get? We got both of our voices are very natural podcast and radio voices. Our faces are very natural podcast and radio voices as well. We're very pleasing to listen to and casual. You're both really funny as well, and there's a lot of shit and giggles, but that's quite funny to listen to.
Cool.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, we do laugh a lot, and our laughs are really weirdly similar. Was one of the bits of feedback we got.
Yeah?
Yeah, we both just whistle.
It's because our throats closed because we're both really unfit.
Yeah.
You just start laughing.
Right, okay, so we got the last thing we'll talk. We've got a natural easiness of talking to essentially no one.
Oh, the backhanded compliment.
I know, it's brutal. You're very
But then-
good at doing a podcast to literally no audience ever.
Oh dear.
This is John from Cambridge, who also said that our voices and our interactions feel very natural and play out well, which was a very nice thing for him to have said.
Cheers, John.
Yep, thank you, John.
But fuck you, Tim.
Yep. So if we're going to invite somebody onto the show, let's make it John and not Tim. Right, okay, so that's been half an hour for the special podcast behind the scenes.
Yes.
We're gonna take some of the sound clips from this and make them into jingles for use with our next podcast.
Magic.
We can, there's nothing's fixed. We'll change things as we go, but we'll try and make the organisation a bit clearer. But it's still going to be largely about our personal stories and just the interactions between us, because we're two old pals that just want to do this for fun and a deep-seated need for attention from the general unknown public.
Precisely.
And money.
Everyone wants to be famous.
Lots of money. Money. Give us money.
It's all about the money, money, money.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Big money. Flat cars. Right.
Money. It's a gas. Grab that cash with both hands and make a stash.
God damn, he can sing.
Money. That's my fake singing.
Oh, you're something special there, Sean.
You too, man. You too.
And on that note, let's end the special podcast and we'll start the real one. Post haste.
Post haste indeed.
Alright.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening and thanks for the feedback again. Fuck you, Tim.
Au revoir, no.